Bishop Nicholas Hobson. I want to let my members and the community know that my executive office, my executive office to my congregation have released this 2023 budget. My 2023 budget will include operations for the orphanage in Uganda, salaries and wages for all employees and workers. That's probably why I can understand that that's why I can understand that the people in and workers in Uganda is struggling financially and need food. But it's like, and I appreciate the store owner locally doing their part to provide food to the orphanage like that. That's why that's why part of the budget, 2023 budget, and when the church gets grant money from the foundation that we're willing to get grant money from, will plan to issue that store owner a donation to that donation to like a large like a I want to say like a large donation for the store owner's appreciation for providing food to the workers and children in the orphanage in Uganda because we got in Uganda. And also I just found out too that from legal experts and nonprofit experts that if you are registered as a church through the Secretary of State's office in whatever business that you do business that a church do business in whatever state to do business transactions, they it's optional. I found out it's optional for a church to file a 501c3 through the IRS. It because I found out a lot. I found from experts and nonprofit experts that if you when a church when a church files an article of corporation to the state, whether they do business like that, all you have to worry about is make sure that that they have the right language in their article of corporation to state that they're a church and have the right information in there to state that they're a church and that they're a church like that. And then I found out that filing a form 990 is optional too because it don't have optional or don't have to file 990 either because I found out through a church don't have to really I just found out twice from a not from a from experts and the IRS that the churches really don't file 990. They only file 990 if they only have to if they 990 like they want if they need a stamp um if they need a stamp uh, tax return for non-pop for if they want to request any grants if the foundation requests a stamped copy of a 990 form 990. That's the only time a church have to present 990 like that or only time churches I found out the churches fill out 990 forms if for their own records like that for their own records and stuff like that so they won't be audited so in case they in a situation like they being audited or sometimes getting audited by already they can have like a paper trail or a legitimacy or if a something like a attorney or a legal counsel or a CPA or any or bookkeeper or professional book you ask for them. And another thing I like another thing that because I found that so it's like right now that's why the company that the church is working for now to fill in safeguard for the congregation it's like it's like the company has a phase one and a phase two. I believe that phase one seems like it's based on information I found out about the 501c3 status for churches like that. It feels like the phase two is like it's more optional. It's like it's optional for my congregation to participate in it. And also I starting Monday, my church will do a well. I knew I also would be. I just appointed a special assistant to a special assistant to a special assistant to my in my executive office to handle to work with my other advisors to work with on pretty much be like pretty much the special assistant be like an advisor to my to like my other advisors that handle economic policy for the church economic policy and Africa policy economic policy for the church in my executive office. So I'm thinking I don't have to worry about. So I don't have to. So it's like the special assistant pretty much work with will pretty much handle affordable housing policy for the church because the church is working on a project that may likely maybe probably because of the pandemic may be back up and running probably pretty much next probably by next year probably by early next year, so we can get that affordable housing project off the ground and running, so we can start housing more homeless people because like in pretty much under that this affordable housing project it would be more homeless people. I'd like to see. I like to see more. I like to do. I'm not biased, but I like to see more minorities and Black African Americans in their own permanent housing because permanent housing with their children or family and their own family not living out of overcrowded households, not living out of overcrowded households, living in shared room housing because because I don't like to see I like to see more minorities get out of like places like shared room housing. They should be able to live with because people like that should be able to live with their own should maybe have their own apartment or permanent housing, live with their girlfriends, children, families, and stuff like that. They should not have to be living in a shared room house, have to share with other people they probably pretty much don't have, in pretty much they don't know, or or something like that, or have to share a bathroom and a kitchen. I believe people should have their own space and have their own space and their own permanent housing. So I think that's one thing that's gonna be taken off the ground and be taken seriously and off the ground, and not just special assistance when I just handle affordable housing here in Michigan and also at the church and registered a foreign entity in Georgia. That might not just taking place here. That also going to take place overseas in Uganda and possibility Kenya, poor community in Kenya because people in Kenya and poor communities of Kenya and Uganda, they live in poor living conditions. Like they sometimes they don't have heat. Most of the time they don't have heat. They don't have electricity. Most of the people over there don't have electricity. They have to deal. They pretty much have to use let they have to use only time they can they have most time people overseas have to use pretty much like when they need light they have to wait to the daytime to you wait to the daytime just to use just to have light in the house like from the skylight that's not I don't see that's a right either. So that's why reason why under the 2023 budget, I know a lot of workers at the orphanage in Uganda are struggling with. I don't have it. I like the workers and children and staff have access to Wi-Fi, have access to flexible Wi-Fi. That's why we under the 23 budget it has it includes funding for Wi-Fi and internet. So all still so and stu- children and workers have access to Wi-Fi over the Wi-Fi at the orphanage, so they can be more technology, utilize more technology, and for home for classroom for like classroom learning, um, or either like because right now because when you be seeing people like Vice President Kamala Harris and Biden going to these having bilateral talk with these African nations, they not even selling any deal with them to deal with them and their people. They pretty and the people over there they pretty much just having talk talks with them, bilateral talk with them, and they not going anywhere. And the talk not going anywhere. And people over there is living, and that's the same thing. That's the same thing with Obama. That's the same thing with Obama and the Obama administration. I sent a before I became a bishop and a ordained bishop. I sent a plan to. I sent a a proposal like a trade agreement proposal to Obama administration to open up markets and create more economic opportunity for people to get out of poverty over there, and they have rejected and they were been struck down and rejected by not just Obama but and for Congress. So I rather, and another thing that gonna be a person I'm looking to appoint to is a HR manager to handle HR and hiring practices and employment discrimination, everything within the church when the church hire employees, more and more employees. From so we need so it's like, and also my church made the also my church is still will be also moving to a new church building, moving to actually going we're able to move to the new church building the first of the year. So we saw it because first of the year because right now I've had my church have to hold worship services and everything in like public meeting or hosting or either hosting like staff meetings or church staff meetings and from all staff in like different rental office locations like places like them incubator type locations that you gotta rent off and I have the church have to waste money or have to do that have to waste money on that. So it's like I'm on doing operations like that. So that's why starting the first year we gonna finally be moving into a permanent church building, and then also the church gonna be also in the probably in the next month or the next month gonna be also yeah become registered as a solicitor so we can start in the state of Michigan and Georgia. So it's in Georgia and also the new bylaws up to date as of right now is on the church website at ljccbc.yolasite.com. So people can go on there and check out the updated bylaws. And then also the bylaws include more information on there. So I just want to point that out too. And also I will be preaching. And also I posted on Facebook that I will be preaching on a new series in January because starting January I will be going back to after my administrative leave. I'll be going back to preaching in my to my congregation starting January in, under and preaching a new series. And then also my housing, also the because of the pandemic, my housing allowance, territorial housing allowance would be kicked back in starting January of 2023. I mean 2023. So I don't have no problem with money and anything economically and financially. So I can start going back to everything full time with the congregation starting January 2023. Thank you.